Justin, congratulations. Can you give us, from your point of view, what you thought of the game based on a real tough start and then a real strong finish?
Well, first of all, I'd like to compliment Idaho. It's a tough team. They got some dang good players. They're well coached. I thought they did a really good job. I expected us to start much better than we did. I think we all expected that. Unfortunately, for a number of reasons, we did not, and really dug ourselves a hole. Defensively, the third and fourth downs were just not very good, not good at all. I mean, really poor early in the game. They converted all, I think all of them. And then they put the ball in the end zone, and offensively, we left some plays out there. There was some RPOs. We had a slant on third we dropped. I mean, there was just a number of plays where we couldn't quite get our rhythm. So it was great to see the guys battle through that. You don't want that to happen, but it did, and so I'm proud of how they fought through it. We played better throughout the game. It was real streaky. It felt like, it just felt real streaky on our part. There's times when the offense is really moving it looks smooth and in rhythm, and other times not so much. Same on defense. Series where it's like that's how we expect the guys to compete and contest, and some others where it wasn't near what we would expect. So we got to, we're all going to sit up here and say we have to get better. I'm going to be the first to say it, and it's true. Now it needs to be reflected, and this week of practice and next week, and we'll challenge coaches and players to do that.
Steve?
Just on Tuesday, you said you thought Jaden was going to play, and he did not play today. What was the process of him not playing?
I did think that. I wasn't being dishonest. I did think that, and then he was just not available to play today. So as of this morning, that's what was reported to me. So look forward to getting him back as soon as possible. And that's between he and the medical staff, but that's what that was the news we were given this morning.
Emmanuel?
Coach, big momentum showed there at the end of the second quarter going into the third. Talk to us a little bit about what you're feeling on the sideline and how the players are getting invigorated.
Yep, momentum is a huge part of this game. As you can feel it in the stadium. There's, these momentum and adversity are going to show up in every game. So, grabbing the momentum and utilizing it and capitalizing on momentum is key, and then fighting through adversity like we had early on is key. So I thought we did that at times, and I think we felt that. You mentioned the second quarter, getting back into it, and felt like, okay, this is a little more like what we would expect to look like, and so that's a good thing. That'll be a positive that we talk about when we watch the tape, and we work real hard, in terms of emphasizing the last 4 minutes of the first half and the first 4 of the second half, and we were okay there. But that's really where you can change the momentum of the game is in those 8 minutes.
Thomas?
Coach, we talked earlier in the week about special teams and the development they would have to go through this week. How would you assess the coverage units and the rebound that Michael Lucker's had today?
Yeah, I'm proud of Michael for getting in there and staying with it. That's not easy. That position, everybody sees it. When you're the 3 technique or the right guard, maybe if they call your number for a penalty, but sometimes people don't notice when you make a mistake, and that's specialists and the kickers and corners, quarterback, it's just different. So I'm proud of him for fighting through that and kind of working this entire week, and he did a good job. Last one, you may have saw, I don't know if you've seen it on the replay, they said it was really close, but they ruled it out, so it was out. But I'm just proud of the way he fought through and ran back out there and kicked again. Some guys, might not do that. They might tap out. He did not do that. He stayed in.
Good, Jeff. Justin, it seemed like offensively your edge was you physically just began to dominate them with your run game. Can you talk about that? And are you worried that how well that will translate going forward, or is that something you have to do?
We felt like we should run the ball well. Now, they're a heavy box team, meaning they were going to have a number of players in the run fit, both safeties, Sam Nickel overhang guys. So there weren't a lot of times when they were short, so to speak, in the run fits. They got enough people, but we felt like we should have a chance to run the ball. I think we'll be again pleased with the win and celebrate the win, but probably look at a lot of those and whether we missed the run or maybe we didn't hand it off when we should have handed it off, and there's opportunities for more in the run game. I think we're going to see a lot of that on offense, but again, I'm proud of them because there was a lot of good plays. I mean, Tron Grizel with a great catch, bouncing back from a drop and making a great catch in the end zone. Sam using his legs. Jeremiah making a contested catch in the end zone. The O-line getting some things going for Isaiah and Ashton. So,
Did you talk about Isaiah and Ashton a little bit more?
Yeah, let's see, Isaiah had 137, Ashton had 77. That was good, We're banged up in that room, I mean, you know it, but those guys are doing a good job with opportunities. So the size and explosiveness, and this is not a knock on Idaho at all, but next week's going to be different. And so we've got to be really dialed in to our, the decision making, the efficiency of what we're doing with the football, and then our targets and how we're running the ball and breaking a tackle, when there is an extra fitter in the box, finding a way to get some extra yards after contact. That's going to be key, because not every run's going to be blocked. You draw them up to block it to score a touchdown, but rarely does it end up that way. So you got to break a tackle or make a guy miss.
Jim, how would you assess Sam's play?
Well, he does some things that are pretty impressive, running and throwing. I just think it's being efficient and making the routine plays routinely. I think we can do better there. He's a young quarterback and he's still learning how to play this game. He's competitive. He's got to learn on first and second down. We either dive or slide, but we don't, take those shots. And I love that he's willing. We all do, but learning how to slide or dive when it's first and second down, and then just being efficient with the ball. When it's RPO game, I just think he can be better there, and some of the shots down the field he can be better. So he's just got a lot. He's going to grow a lot, and he's learning a lot as we're going, and we just got to continue. Just like everybody's got to continue to get better.
Anybody else in the room? Thomas?
You mentioned earlier just not really playing well to start. Was it more of Idaho just making plays, or you guys not necessarily coming to play? And how do you, as coaches and leaders, compartmentalize that and try and shift the narrative?
Well, if we were at the hotel last night, or maybe if it was a week of practice where you feel lethargic and guys weren't giving effort and the meetings weren't sharp, walkthroughs weren't sharp, and then you go to the hotel and there's guys aren't plugged in, then I would say, well, yeah, maybe they weren't ready to play. But I did not get that sense at all. I felt like, if anything, there was like a little this, like, I want to go out there and play and compete, because we didn't play our best football last week. And so, we just didn't play well. That's what I think. I mean, we didn't, for whatever reason, and I don't know that there would be any one reason, because there's a lot of guys playing and a lot of guys maybe didn't have their best play here or there, but I really don't think it was a lack of, not wanting it. It's just the execution part matters so much, and Idaho, they were dealing on offense and they got us off the field on defense when we weren't efficient. So
You may not know the answer to this, but would you expect that you would have Jaden for Washington?
I don't know the answer to that. I would expect to, based on this week, but ultimately that is not my decision. It shouldn't be my decision. That's between Jaden and the sports med staff.
Is he able to practice most of this week?
He was able to do certain things in practice. Yeah. So.
But it was somewhat limited.
Yes. It happens from time to time with different players with different types of injuries, but we're not going to necessarily get into that. But that's, yeah.
Anybody else in the room? The final question. Okay, we'll have one more here on Zoom. Rick Chen from Rifle, California on Zoom. Go ahead, Rick.
Coach Wilcox, do you expect Idaho to come out to a 17-0 start based on what you saw them do last week against Nevada?
No, I guess we don't ever plan for the other team to come out and score on us 17 points, and we don't plan for that. You have to give them credit because they executed those plays much better than we did, but we certainly did not plan that. I will tell you, we had great respect for Idaho. Watching them play, we felt like it might, probably the best offense we've played this year. We felt like the quarterback is a really good football player. We thought the receivers were good. We thought the back was good. We thought they're really, really well coached up front. They got good schemes. So we were not surprised that they were going to be prepared and have some good players. But we don't expect anybody to just come in and score 17 on us. We would expect to make some of those plays that we did not make. And we got to improve and learn from that.
Okay, remember the final question. Okay, thank you.
Thanks.